So here's the deal. The universe, God, doesn't have conditions upon us for what is required to manifest, to receive what we want, to co-create. There are no ultimate things we must do to receive. But there are things that help us to know we can receive. Once again, after working with thousands of women over many years, here's things that are across the board almost always helpful. So we live in a world where anyone can get on the internet and say literally anything about anything. And when you don't know maybe a lot about the subject at hand, you can accidentally be inclined to believe anything about anything. Now we have these spirits and souls that are divine and that know everything. And they know when something is resonating with us and when something is not quite right. So we have the divine sovereignty always to choose what is right for us. And again, we're on the internet where everyone wants us to believe that they're right and that their way is the only way when it comes to anything and everything. And I saw something about money last night, someone writing about money, that I thought what they were saying was not the most helpful thing available when it comes to this topic. And I felt inclined to riff, to talk to you guys about some stuff. Now here's the deal. When it comes to money or manifestation or anything, what we have to know is that everything is available always. Everything exists always. Every single thing we can imagine wanting, there's someone out there who has it. It is all possible, but we're not set up all at the same place in life. We don't all start at the same starting line. Different people have to overcome different things, whether we're talking about different beliefs, mental constructs, different baggage, different trauma, different, situations, socioeconomic status. Like, we can go on and on. We don't all start in the same place. So each of our unique paths to getting where we're going may look a little different. But what I've observed after working with literally thousands of women over 12 years on creating and designing their ideal lives and worlds and businesses and financial scenarios, after years of this, I've observed that there's things that across the board pretty much help everyone to create and receive what they desire. So here's the deal. The universe, God, doesn't have conditions upon us for what is required to manifest, to receive what we want, to co-create. There are no ultimate things we must do to receive. So just understand that. That is truth beyond truth. But there are things that help us to know we can receive. Once again, after working with thousands of women over many years, here's things that are across the board almost always helpful. Okay, number one, knowing you're worthy. Now, this one I want to give nuance to. It's not that your worth was ever in question. I've been saying since the very first module, my very first course, you're worthy because you are. You just are worthy, period. And it's not that feeling worthy is required to manifest something or make something happen. It's that when you have an overarching belief over your life that you're not good enough, you're not deserving, that it can't happen, when you have what one of my favorite psychologists called conditions of worth around your life and around yourself, around your past, when you have all these ideas around not being good enough all up in your space, it is hard to believe that you can have anything. So I teach that you're worthy because you are. Your worth isn't in question. You are innately deserving. The second point I feel to bring, meaning behind the thing you desire, meaning behind your desire, as we call it, manifestation. Okay, so I've observed, after working with all of these people over all these years, that when we believe the thing we want is of good, it's easier for us to create, because none of us want to be bad people. So when we know that it's of service, that it helps others, that it helps us, that it helps us create a better life for our family, that it benefits the world, that we will use what we receive to give back. When we have all of that going on, it's easier to allow it in. Now, once again, this is not a universal condition, because there are plenty of people who we could consider bad, who've made plenty of money in ways that we would consider unethical. And those people probably didn't believe it was of service to the world, but they probably had meaning behind it. They probably had a reason for wanting it that felt worth it to them. Okay, this is the third point I feel to bring to you. Believing it's possible. Now, knowing or believing that it's possible for you can come in many ways. You can read a book that tells you it's possible and go, holy fuck, it's possible. You can decide to have faith that it's possible for you, and you can activate this place of me and God are creating it. I have faith. I know it's coming. That has worked for a lot of people. That's very activating for me. You can add up the evidence from other people's lives or from your past that it's possible for you because you've done crazy shit before and you'll do this. So you can use faith, you can use evidence, you can use belief, you can use decision, just deciding it's possible, just believing it's possible, just knowing it's possible. But when it doesn't feel possible, you'll have a hard time opening up to it, allowing it in, choosing it, knowing that it's coming. So we have to decide that it's possible for us. And let me tell you, it is all possible. Now, the fourth thing I feel to bring to you is kind of a bonus. And I want to say this again. We've already said, I'm going to say it again. None of these things are required by the universe. God did not say, in order for someone to create a good life, thou shalt have, belief in their worth. And no, it's not required by anyone, but it is things that I have found to be helpful and supportive to us in getting and creating whatever we want. Once again, over like a pretty decently long career at this point. Okay, so the fourth one is kind of a bonus. Gratitude. Now, I find when I am in gratitude for my life, when I am in gratitude for every dollar that flows in, when I am in gratitude for every client, when I am experiencing gratitude, it all feels better. It all feels more flowy. It all feels more aligned. It all feels more possible. It all feels more like, yes, God, yes, universe, yes, life, thank you, let's go. I think there is something about gratitude that speeds it up and calls it in. Okay, now I want to say this. We can get to a point where we have so embodied the person we want to be, the person who has money, the person who has love, the person who has whatever. We have been that person and lived as that person, and it is just who we are. It is how we be. It is our identity now. Like, we live from a place of having, being, and doing whatever it is. So over all these years of being a woman who started a business and made it into like an 8-figure global brand, like, I feel and I believe that money just is, that I make money just because I do, that money is always coming at me, coming for me, all around me. Money is always working with me, on my side, in my favor. So in my daily life, I'm not going, do I feel worthy? Do I have gratitude? Do I know it's of service? Like, no, because I know that it just can be. But when you don't know that it just can be, these things I've named today will really help you. And when I have a moment of like things not lining up well, things not flowing well, me feeling like something's not coming together around, a desire I want making its way into my life, I do go back to some of these things I've named today. Not because they're required, but because they are supportive to me. And they put me in a state of remembering what is mine, what I get to have. So in Christianity, and the religion I come from, these are the promises of God. That's how they conceptualize being able to ask for, pray for, believe you get to have like wealth and abundance and whatever. So there are a million people that have used a million ways to create a framework and a belief system to call in what they want. And I am giving you today things that I have seen work for a lot of people.